Hey guys, a couple weeks ago I made this knife without using a forge. I love how the knife turned out, but there's one thing that concerns me, and that thing is I really like how this knife turned out. There's something I was worried about, but I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. But just for how the knife turned out, I really like it. I like that you can still see these file marks on here. You can see them in the spine. And I like the handle I used, the silver ice with the red G10 liners. I'm going to be doing some testing. I'm going to go up a little higher first, and then I'll test it out. And just feeling this edge. I have not tested it at all yet. This edge is so sharp. So I'm excited to see if that'll last. The first thing I saw was this little squirrel. He let me get really close to him. I was there for a little while, and then he started screaming at me. Saw this young cottontail. He didn't seem to be too afraid of me either. Looking around, I saw a lot of coyote scat everywhere, twisted at the ends, lots of fur in it. You better get out of here, little dude. Saw this big plump bull chewing on some grass. There was a lot of them hidden in the grass. This one didn't care I was there. It was hungry. Saw this adult squirrel collecting some leaves for a nest. So I'm trying to go up to the waterfall, which is in between those mountains. Really like this area right here. You can see all the sage growing around. Love how it smells. It's all over the place. This is the smaller slug that I found. Found about 10 of them. I was going to move him, but he was pretty stuck to the rock, so I just left him. Also saw this big guy. Found a little piece of rope I'm going to use for a sharpness test. I want to see if my knife can slice right through it. Or maybe it won't make a clean cut. That's what I want to find out. So here I'm at the waterfall. Got as close as I could without getting my camera too wet. First I just wanted to get some of the bark off this piece of wood so easily it would cut through. And there were some knots in it, but after I got past the knots, it stripped the bark real easily. On the first chop it went right through. I'm going to try it again, see if I can get a better angle. Now I'm going to go up higher. I have an idea for something I can use the file marks in the spine for. I was thinking if you need to make a fire, you got a ferro rod. You can use the edge, since it's a little bit rough, it should make sparks real easily. Now, try batoning these pieces of wood. That's through pretty quick, but they were uneven, so I didn't get straight down the middle. On this next one, I grabbed a piece of wood. I was going to try and chop it a couple times, but it went through on the first chop and hit the rock. Hit the rock on accident. There's no damage. There's no damage to the edge. Now I'm going to go try the test that I've been a little worried about since the knife isn't tempered. And if it's going to break, it's going to be on this next test. So I'm going to be hitting this log a whole bunch of times. It's not what the knife does to the log or what the log does to the blade. I hated that. That was scary. Alright, so after hitting that a whole bunch of times, the edge held up really nice. There's a little tiny nick in there, but it is still sharp. I'm going to do a paper test when I get home just to see how sharp it still is, but this held up really nice. Guys, just got back to the truck and I found a piece of paper. I'm gonna do a paper test right now and see how sharp it still is. Sorry, it's not the best angle. Woo, still sharp. The place I was worried about is right here. There's a little tiny nick, so I'm gonna try there and see. Still sharp. Not as sharp as it was when I started. I love how the knife turned out, but there's one thing that concerns me, and that thing is, it wasn't tempered. Files are hardened, but they're not tempered, because they need to be as hard as they can for the work they're supposed to do. But as a knife, that's not the best thing. If you don't have your knife tempered, the edge can be brittle, and because there's no flex in the spine, you could break your knife. This was a fun knife to make. Put a link in the description if you want to see how I made it. It was a good way to test. If you don't have a forge, you want to see if you even like making knives, this is a good way to test it out. But if you're going to be making them for heavy use or selling them, you want to make sure that you are doing the full heat treat on your blades. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.